Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back if you have. My intention is benevolence for all, the highest levels of love, light, oneness, and unity. I just woke up a little bit ago, so I'm still kind of putting myself together. And I just wanted to go into a little flow. I actually had an opportunity. My husband's usually home with me, and so I don't always get to do videos. And he ran and did something, and I thought, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to post. I actually posted a video this morning, and I posted the wrong video. I mean, it's not the wrong video, but I posted a video with the wrong description that I spent all this time typing up last night, and then I didn't match them up. So it is what it is. But I thought, well, maybe I need to take more time to kind of dissect what that video was all about anyways, because it was in much code. And it was more of a blog post than it was really a video with like I usually do. But having said that, I'm going to see what just wants to come through for right now. We're still in the energies of the full moon. So here we go. Got my microphone on. Just taking a deep breath in and then a long exhale. So I'm hearing just some plays on words. As we sift through the rubble, and I'm thinking of Barney Rubble. Luawea tieshte kikiana ak ukua wahana atia teaha okua wahana. Luawahe tianeshte kiana hakukua wea te teana. Luawahe kikiana hayi aha okuaha na e anahak I. We play with many words. I'm hearing rows of words, rows. We play with many rows of words, a word play, prose, if you will, prose and moving through the canisters, like a holding space for these words. And not everyone will understand what we are presenting. And that is neither here nor there. For as those of you that fall into this lineation, this is a play on words, not only the people who listen to this that get it, it's also this particular line of frequencies as well as harmonics and messages. For we wish to pull, to push, to open all who are willing to feel, hear, and listen with ears to hear, into a space of delineation, coming out of a linear version of wording. For this is a way that we present in many ways, in a myriad of ways. And I'm hearing mirror, mirror on the wall, like it's a reflection of certain words, so to speak. I'm hearing can do it, con do it. We invite you to come into playtime with your own vocabulary, with your own way that you communicate, and to play into the heart, from the heart. I'm seeing a cigar box. I'm hearing that, like that little doink, 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 doink song with the cigar box, and I'm hearing deliverance. So obviously Deliverance is a scary movie, but the way that they're playing with this is like it's a deliverance, so to speak. It's like we're delivering it in such a way that it isn't the same. There is not the same symmetry with how we present the wordings. And that is why in reading, I'm seeing the tree, you get to see a bit more architecture in the lineup of the way the words are presented, of the dynamation. So I'm seeing animation, this diamondation. For the words are merely representations of a fractal that is existing within this spectrum, so to speak, of the lineage that we are lining up with. This also has to do with linearity. So I'm hearing as we unravel the concubine that the words have been trapped within. And when I say concubines, the perfect example, I see a literally con and a cube binding. So it's like something having to do with this binding of this energy. For much was split down the middle, so to speak, when linear language was introduced in a certain chemical combustion, within certain chambers that were then, I'm seeing like language came in and then it was split. According to the time frame, it was like it was frozen in time. And I'm hearing frozen, let it go. Because as it was frozen in time, it actually binds time. And I had this other video that I did, the one that I accidentally posted this morning, and I think they were talking about a new concept of time. So the words that we use keep us locked into time, and they're asking me to play with this a little bit, so I'm going to get back into this. So everything has a geometry, everything has a vibration, everything has a frequency associated with it, attached to it, if you will, tethered to it. Tethered has been coming up a lot for me. And what happens is, and I hear the tie that binds. So what happens is, how often have we said words that are really limiting, and it binds us into that reality matrix? So I am fill in the blanks, not good enough, not worthy, I continuously make the same mistakes, people don't like me, whatever those belief structures are, those are words. And those words are codes. And those codes lock us into a certain architecture, archetype, archetypal frequency, geometry. And I keep hearing the word expose. Like they expose certain things, but they don't let us get to the truth of the heart of the chamber. So they're showing me the king's chamber. Like it is about implosion and about using our codes, our co-collaboration, our creative frequencies to unbind whatever it is that we've been bound to, all of the angles that we've placed ourselves in. And I keep seeing people that are like in a pretzel, like they've tied themselves into knots by using words that were really limited in the limiting belief structure. So this particular flow that we're going into right now is about releasing those words, unlocking these codes of freedom by using words that are empowering and not using words that are disempowering. And they're playing with that disemvoweling, like being disemboweled, but like it's pulling out that solar plexus energy, that creative. It's like we were taken, that power's been taken and pulled out of us because of what we've told ourselves and what we keep continuously telling ourselves time and time again. And what I'm hearing is timey. You know, you're being tongue-tied, right? So quit feeding into this network of inconsistency is what they say. That's a play on words as well. So all the stuff that I share in these particular types of videos that I'm in flow with right now is more of a blog style. And the words are meant to kind of make people step outside of linearity. And sometimes it's confusing, and sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's like, what the heck is she talking about? But there is a layer, there is an architecture that's being presented in everything that we read, in everything that we say, in everything that we tell ourselves. And as we expose these linearities, these frequencies that we have been combining into again and again and again, it allows us to resurface, and bring to the surface that which has not been, I'm hearing again, this is a play on words, K-N-O-T, not been, and they're showing me that it wasn't able to combust. Like it tied into a knot, and it kept us locked in a certain time, frequency, pattern, period, geometry. So if you think of a knot, a slip knot, or if you think of a sailor's knot, the knot is always tied so that it can be easily untied and used for multiple things. They're showing me a knot on a ship and how you can make many different knots from the same rope. That's a language. And they're showing me that our language is a rope, and we can either use it to tie us and bind us to more expansiveness, or we can sink the ship with it. And they've been playing with this as well, as like sink and dip into this. Sink, S-Y-N-C, right? Rather than sink, S-I-N-K. So allow ourselves to sync up with this higher formation of language that is coming in through our cellular remembrances, membranes, brains, patterns of vocalization and harmonics. You guys, this is light language, this is sound, this is art, this is higher conversations about higher possibilities and mechanics. It's physics, it's science, it's all of it. But it's letting go of that's not possible. It's letting go of that person doesn't know what they're talking about, or judgment, right? Because everybody's tapping into it in their own way, in their own harmonics. Duawahak uakua henda et ishtik iana akukuawa et ishtik iana akuawa et ishtik ishtia kukuawa et ena. And as you tap into your higher harmonics, brothers and sisters, as you unbind in this boundless formation of categories that you have been playing in, we unscrabble in this duaheshtekiki iana kukuawa teshtiana akua form of lineation. We invite you to see, I'm hearing reflexology. They're kind of sharing being flexible, the reflexes. They're also showing like language and how it's written. So play with the words that are coming through from your imagination now. Allow yourself to write the stories that were never allowed to be written. And this is another play on words, aloud, like out loud, you know. Maybe you've been wanting to write something for a really long time and the world just wasn't ready for it. And now they're like, okay, it doesn't matter if the world's ready for it or not. Not everybody's gonna like everything I have to share either, but I was still guided to jump on here and to share, because the people that do react to it, and react is not a negative word, it's more like response, it's more like feel inspired from it. That's kind of what they're showing. It's like you're going to inspire others to follow their own dream, their own landscape. Like they're showing me people creating what is it, video games? They use sorry, I always forget. They use you know, when somebody's a programmer, or they do they program artwork for computers, just things like that. Like, play with this, because there's a lot more creativity to be shared that many of us are just now tapping into. And as you rewrite the categories, the scattergories that were scattered amongst you, you bring together, tie together, create with one another. And I'm hearing knocking on heaven's door, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. So this is like a play on words, knock, knock, who's there? So we're playing this game, and as we do this, we ask, who's there? And we're connecting in with our higher aspects, our higher selves, our higher divinations, our higher self that essentially is behind our creativity, which is us, our higher guidance team that is waiting to be accessed, that a lot of people are waiting for someone else to access it for them. And what the guides are saying is, don't wait, just play. Go out and do art. Even if you don't feel like painting, try a sculpting class. Work with your hands, work with the clay, be the sculptor. And even if you're set your intention is kind of all the other thing. Set your intention to feel what wants to come through from the heart. And as we line up in these king's chambers, so to speak, in these chambers, I'm seeing like a triangulation of the heart space, as well as the brain, right? It's connecting into the third eye, the heart, the brain, with everything else. As we allow ourselves to line up with all that is being offered in these new frequencies, in these new boundless, I'm seeing a jumper, like a trampoline, a bounder. Is that what they're called? Boundless frequencies. We then begin to pull in and reprogram that which was once acceptable that is no longer acceptable. For as we play in this new frequency, we play with the boundless numbers, mathematics, science, etc. No longer accepting that which has been, I'm seeing like forced upon us, but this is not a negative. It's like we allowed it. So they're kind of showing me that not swallowing the medicine anymore, so to speak, just because they say, okay, do this because it's good for you. Well, does it feel good, is the question. We are the code writers. We are the time counters. The metrodome, is that the metrodome? We count. They're showing that we count, like our numbers count. As light workers, we count, we make a difference. We are creating the new count. And they're playing with this, like, what's the count? The count from Sesame Street. 1, ha ha ha. 2. Like, we're the ones that are creating the rhythm, right? For others to then tap into. It's like hearing that song and going, yeah, I feel it. That sounds good. So playing with that as well. This can be through dance. It can be through, a lot of the things that we are seeing in our network of starseeds, but others out there may not be seeing it. And we can be like, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance. And being in that space is letting that creativity kind of flow through, letting that expansiveness shine, right? So we're going to play more with this. I'm going to end on this note, trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter. There's so much more. I'm going to write a lot of this down. Apologies on the previous video that I posted too soon or not with the right words. So I'll have to fix that. I've taken the video down and I'm going to repost it once I get the right wording with it. But you guys have fun playing and setting your own rhythm, dancing to your own tune, because when we do this, we create the space in which others can be themselves in, and they can feel free to their own rhythm. They can sing, they can dance, and it's no longer standing in a corner waiting for others telling us it's okay to come out and dance. And who cares if we dance crazy or if we have weird things to say? If we're coming from the heart and we're not hurting anyone and we're staying in our space of love and light and freedom and joydom, and we're out of our heads and we're not worried about what everybody else is bringing to the table, we're bringing it to the table. We're creating the table. We are creating the new times, the golden table. We are laying out the table. We're setting the table. We're setting the pace. Guess I wasn't done yet. We're creating an establishment within the establishment, because that establishment has been peeled back and is literally falling apart. And we are the new buds coming out, the seedlings that have budded, and we are essentially then assisting and linking up with some of the old, melting away that which doesn't work for us anymore, integrating it, dissolving it, and then combining with what does still work, and creating a beautiful mesh frequency in which we all mesh. And I'm hearing like stars collide. We're colliding and then birthing an even bigger star family. And when we do this, it creates this spin. It creates this electromagnetism within. It creates this electric energy that assists us in phasing through the static lock. And it puts a lock down, a lock up. So this, I'm just going to keep going, I guess, since I have the time. I'm setting my own pace. This is my metronome. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But it puts the lockdown on the lock up. So we're essentially, they're showing me like when you go through a bridge, what is it, the Panama Canal? Kind of like those canals, and you go in through this canal and then you're in lockdown, and then they have to open the bridge for you to get to the next bridge. We're opening all those up so that it's free flowing. And as we open this up, it locks down in a good way our new time reference. And I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean time is different? Doesn't matter what I mean. You feel it. I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, but I can feel it. And I feel that I am setting my own pace from this implosive energy that I'm creating in my space by allowing the electricity within me to essentially, I'm hearing phase lock, like there's something about this phase lock architecture. So as we allow ourselves to lock into this new phase, it's like locking in on a target, right? But we have many targets we can lock into, not just one. We don't just have one track mind anymore. We have a mini track mind. We're playing, they're saying we're playing the mixed tape. It's like a play on words, like old school, like I'm going to make you a mixed tape or a mixed CD or whatever you call them. It's a mixed playlist, and we can tap into any of those songs and any of the singers of those songs and any of the writers of the songs and the instruments the songs are played in, and the mixing, the mix makers is what they're saying, mix maker, mix matcher. So we're the DJ, right? And we're pulling all of this in, and then we're rewriting those codes for what suits us through the heart. And as we create this electromagnetic energy, I'm hearing static X, we allow ourselves to create crossroads, cross points, nodes, and we get to erase and write over, right? I've talked about this before, write over the old programs. And before we know it, those old programs, we're like, what old programs? This is how we live now. Why talk about the old programs that are disempowering? Let us come back into our own vision through our divine feminine, divine masculine balance. And from that, we create our own count, our countenance, right? Our continents that come together in stance, standing together in unification, in flow. And as we do this, it creates the grid structure of boundless opportunities. Even though we are binding, we are unbinding at the same time, constantly shifting, constant. I'm hearing Constantinople, having to do with the poles and the shifts in the poles. We're creating that balance in all the fluctuations that are going on. By not reacting, we are creating a responsive space within our own chemical expansion in which we are allowing the reactors, and I'm again getting reference to nuclear reactors, and I had this flow about a month ago where nuclear, I wrote this down, reactors, we're clear in what we're responding to, and we're not reacting to things or reenacting things that are part of the old paradigm, the old programs, part of this, all that stuff that just needs to disappear, right? Or get absorbed and integrated with love and light, and utilize and compost what it is that we can use. And also that nuclear, you guys, this is about hydrogen, right? Hydrogen, if you listen to any of the Dan Winter's teachings, I now recognize a lot of the things that I write about. I didn't realize that's what I was writing about, but now I understand. It's implosion. It's creating this 0 point, if you will, of creation, of connecting to all things. It's literally this heart brain reactor that essentially is an implosion rather than an explosion. But it is this rose, this toroidal field that's constantly spinning, and we are then pulling into our awareness, vibration, reality, this structure that we are setting that time up for. And it's time to step this up. It's time to set this up so that we're setting this up not only for future generations, but we're also setting it up for our generation. It isn't us just about the future, it's about now. And so if we think and focus about what's now, and I don't mean like, oh, you know, we gotta live for the moment and go do crazy things because, you know, we have to worry about what's now. That's an old paradigm. It's more about how can I rise to the occasion and be in my highest presence, in my highest state of being, in that space of coherence, so that I may be always now, and present. So I'm not reacting to the outside stimuli, reacting to somebody else's judgment or opinion about me, reacting to whatever's going on out there in other people's bubbles. And by doing that, it creates a ripple effect that has a much larger impact out.